welcome to the K-Fic Cafe. It is your host, JT.
And Jay,
All right. We have been off for about 3 weeks now, and just because I was in the middle of my um, second midterm season, and I believe Jay had, you just got your associates, right?
not yet.
Yeah, but you,
I will explain when we get to the good vibe, Jay.
oh, okay. All right, that's perfect then. Anywho, we've just been busy with life, school life, and a bunch of other stuff. We just our Discord server's been active, and we've been communicating on there. Writing tips, writing discussions. We're starting to get a lot more of that, which is a lot of fun. Shout out to Lifo, who occasionally goes onto our writing tips channel and just drops a big clump of information when and then we just discuss it, which is a lot of fun, and I think it helps us understand certain topics and tropes even more. Right now, we didn't talk about it last podcast, but we're kind of doing a I don't know what you call it. It's kind of every day you upload a certain type of information, and it's just based off of a thing I pulled off Instagram, and it's like on October 1st, you talk about this about your book or your story, whatever it is. Word count, age of your protagonist was today. For the people who live on the opposite side of the world, it's how old is your antagonist, current word count, that kind of thing. And it's just a lot of fun to see what people are doing and where they're at. That being said, announcements.
So hi, we don't have a fandom name yet, so I'm just gonna say you guys and gals. This is Jay, and my big announcement is that I decided to go on a indefinite hiatus from writing stories and going on Wattpad and everything, just to kind of sort of. It's hard to explain, but the generalized version is I'm no longer on Wattpad as we speak. I may return some other time in the future. For right now, I'm just on the Discord server. I'm still willing to help others who reach out to me and everything about their story and whatnot. It
He'll
just
still
I
be
won't be writing anything.
Yeah, he'll still be part of the K-Fic Cafe. He's still doing the podcasts, and at least that's what he unless he's thinking otherwise right now.
No,
But
I'm definitely staying by the podcast.
yeah, so he's still going to be here with us on the Discord and all that, but he won't be writing anymore. Big sad. Anyway, this week we are going to be we're going to be talking. This week we are going to be talking about the power of simplicity and implication. And so for that, we have the quote of the week from Tom Clancy. And if you don't know Tom Clancy, you might be familiar with actually his other works that have been readapted outside of the book world. We have Jack Ryan, which is currently an Amazon Prime TV show. I've seen the first 2 seasons. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, so Tom Clancy is the guy who wrote that series. He also, if for any of the gamers out there, Rainbow Six Siege, it is based off his book Rainbow Six, which actually came out in 1998. And he's just been he's best known for very, very technically detailed espionage and military science stories around the Cold World or post-Cold World era. Cold War, not Cold World. What in the world? And yeah, and he's just his stuff is absolutely amazing. And he says, I don't over intellectualize the production process. I try to keep it simple. Tell the story. Right? Simplicity is the most direct way to get your thought across. We will be elaborating this more in a sec, but sometimes the best way is not to find a big fancy word of a verb or a word to use. I see it a lot in fan fiction writing, and it's not the right word, and therefore it just does not feel right in that context. Sometimes these more simpler words convey the correct feeling that you want. And so that being said, what is simplicity, Jay?
Simplicity is the quality or condition of being easy to understand or do.
You want to talk a little more about
Oh,
it?
yeah, sure. I'm sorry. That was in my mental script. So simplicity is explaining or spewing out or communicating something that's easy to understand. This could be it says someone saying launch, like, oh, I don't even know where to go with this. It was fresh in my head. Simplicity.
You want me
All
to
right.
tap in?
Imagine your textbook. Okay, I'm pretty sure a lot of our viewers are in school. Okay,
High school,
what's
you know,
high
secondary
school,
school, whatever you
college,
call it.
middle school, elementary. Somebody probably just got born. You don't know. And for simplicity's sake, your textbook is separated into chapters focusing on different categories. Now, if it wasn't simplicity, say, or if it wasn't simple, you just have a book just full of stuff. You wouldn't even know where anything was. So simplicity is making things easier to, let's say, easier to swallow.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing here, except we're downsizing it to more specifically, I guess, words. Because sometimes sad is much better than melancholic or nostalgic. Because those other words are bigger. They do mean different things too. And if you Google like a synonym for sad, those words might come up, but they don't exactly have the same connotation or the same meaning or feeling as sad. Sometimes sad is the right word or the most simplest. And as you can see from our title, implication. What is implication? Implication, suggestion, inference, insinuation, innuendo, imitation, synonyms. Um, Implication is how we draw a conclusion from something that is not directly stated. And it's a bit difficult to explain, but it's easier when we have examples. Um, we'll give you some in a second, but I guess you could think of implication when I say, um, when someone says something, it's kind of like deduction in a way. It's being able to draw certain conclusions from what is being said or what you're reading, if you're in terms of fan fiction. So if I said, I am a I am an artist, I guess. I didn't say what kind of artist. It could be writing, it could be painting or drawing or whatever. But when I say I am an artist, what kind of implications are there? Artist, generally, we associate the adjective creativity, or go ahead, you can throw in some, Jay. I'm just spitballing here. In terms of artist, maybe low paying job, or the starving artist kind of trope. Um, Basically not very high wage. See, these are just like from simply artists, you can make some conclusions. They may not be right, but you can kind of glean some things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they draw, maybe they paint or whatever.
We're gonna make music.
And we talk about this guy Ernest Hemingway. If you don't know him, you should at least know his name or what he's famous for. He's one of the best writers from the 1940s, 1950s. I'm not entirely sure, but he's famous what, for When the Bell Tolls, I think.
The Whom the Bell Tolls.
For Whom the Bell Tolls, yeah. The Old
Good
Man at
book.
Sea. What else is there? I'm sure there's a lot more. But he does short stories, and he does a lot of things. And he's a very famous writer with a lot of amazing ideas that we use for inspiration. And there was a story of him and his writing buddies back in the day, and they challenged him that someone proposed the idea that you cannot write a story with a really short story that is packed with emotion and conveys the whole story, but super short. And Hemingway was like, "Yeah, no, that's not true. I can do that. I can do that. It's not that. It's you know, it's that's not your. It's not true." And so his friend said, "All right, can do it in 6 sentences. No, not 6 sentences, 6 words." Right. So that was the challenge of the 6 word stories. And so this is the origin of the original. And you may have heard it in English class, or you may have done an activity in English class, but not as powerful as his story. But you may have heard of this before. And it's a and these are very simple. And these are 2 word sentences too. Baby shoes, for sale, never worn. Now, I just want you to think about that story. That is a 6-word story. What can we infer? What is being implied? All right. First of all, simplicity. 6 words. 6 simple words. None of them are particularly big. All right. None of them are particularly fancy. These are words that everybody knows if you are English as a second language. These are words that you should probably have picked up in your vocabulary. But what do these imply? Firstly, I'm just going to break it down. Baby shoes. All right. Shoes of a baby. Duh. Very, very small. And we associate them with baby, which is a joyful thing. Lots of life, lots of happiness, that kind of thing. Baby shoes for sale. All right. So someone's selling these. Why are they selling them? I don't know. What are the condition? We're not really sure. We just know that they're baby shoes and they're being sold. Now, it's the last sentence that hits hard. Never worn. Now, you could think about it from a very, very neutral standpoint, which is, oh, this guy's just remarketing baby shoes or something. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it a little more, what could it be implying? It's supposed to be heavily emotional, very emotionally charged, And never worn. Let's assume this is someone who had a need for baby shoes. What does that imply?
Maybe the baby didn't make it.
But yeah,
it's pretty dark, yeah, but I mean,
it's dark, but it's a baby shoes for sale, and you think, oh, this is gonna be a really happy story, but then never worn. Why was it never worn? So then you ask yourself those questions. What this is implying that the shoes were never worn, but why? Maybe the baby died. The baby didn't make it. Or I think that's the implication, because that means the baby never had a chance to wear those shoes. Mm-hmm. The baby died during labor or something. And so that's just the implication. And me and Jay are just going to be reading off some other 6-word stories. And we just want you, we won't break them all down, but we just want you to think about how simple these stories are. 6 words, not necessarily difficult vocabulary. But what does the story imply? What is the story behind this simple sentence? Mm-hmm. So me and Jay are just going to shoot back and forth about, different stories. So the first one I have here, wrong number, said a familiar voice. Amnesia, or someone's trying to forget something. I don't know.
All right, I got one. Born a twin, graduated only child.
Yeah, okay, that works.
It says it count.
Yeah, I thought you said like graduated an only child, and so you can't do that if it's and. So graduated only child, which works in a way. Yeah. Brought roses home. Keys don't fit. Man, just jump in, bro. Sorry, soldier. Shoes sold in pairs.
We're lying in bed. She's lying. Now, I don't know where that one went.
Dude. That took a second to sink in. Ooh, here's one. Paramedics finished her text. Love you.
Total media blackout, agreed the president.
Sorry, say that again?
At total media blackout, agreed the president.
I don't get it.
I don't either, but it was there. It was there.
If you understand what that one was, feel free to share it in the comments if there's comments, or send us an email, because obviously it went over me and Jay's head. Ooh, this is a good one. Strangers, friends, best friends, lovers, strangers.
That could imply a lot of things. Like,
yeah, it's just it sounds like what do you call it? It's like a guideline for an entire romance story. You meet as strangers, you become friends, then you become best of friends, and then you become lovers, and then something happens and you go back to being strangers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, this one hurts. I met my soulmate. She didn't.
That reminds me of this thing I've been seeing on TikTok.
Oh,
but like,
no.
There'd be like a message at the top, and they'll tell you how far your soulmate is away from you. Mm-hmm. But when somebody zeroed in on a soulmate, the soulmate didn't have them as their soulmate.
Oh,
I
that
was like,
hurts.
what?
Oh, that hurts.
I know.
Oh, this one's a painful one. Introduced myself to mother again today.
Joining
How's
the
that make?
president is his husband.
What?
Joining the joining the president is his husband.
Okay, I guess you can't really get a story from that. I'm not really sure where that one's going. It's
Feel
like
like you
first homosexual
could.
president. I don't know. Oh, okay. Passengers, this isn't your captain speaking.
That bro, I got I got so many bad vibes from that. So many
And
bad.
these are all so dark. Oh man, what is this list that we've made? An only son, a folded flag.
What?
An only son, a folded flag. Son went into the military, came back with,
Oh, okay.
See, it hurts.
Yeah.
These are also dark. Ah, just married, read the shattered windshield. This is so dark. He
He
hit
died
send.
happy knowing he lived.
What?
He died happy knowing he lived. It's a very confusing one, but
It sounds like something you would put at like the end of a story, as a
and it sort
conclusion.
of reminds me from when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
My scientific research teacher, I hated that lady, but she had us debate when does life begin. There's only four, and there was as you can see, there are many ways to come at it. You had the biological one, you had the social one, like maybe you become a risk taker.
Or
That's a
religious
lot
one.
of ways you could look at it.
Yeah, there's so many different ways. Ooh, uh-oh. What's your return policy on rings?
Dang.
Oh, you want to hear
Dang.
a really dark one? You want to hear a really dark one?
Oh,
Ever seen chalk outlines that small? This
what?
might take a second. This might take a second. Ever seen chalk outlines that small?
Chalk outlines.
Have you ever seen a murder mystery film or
Oh yeah, when they had
they trace the outline of the body? Ever seen chalk outlines that small? It's either a baby or a child, bro.
I was just about to say, I was like, hold on, wait. The first thing is starting to come to mind is a baby. I'm like, who killed a baby?
Anywho, these are, these are just 6-word stories. You can easily find these online, but
Wait. I have one more. I have one more.
go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
He left and then I flew.
He left and then that would actually would make great story prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So these are just six-word stories. You can easily look most of these up online, and you can just as easily create your own. And so what we would love to hear is, if you want, just quickly think of a 6-word story, make one up, put one below. We'll give anyone a shout out if you manage to make a K-pop, somewhat of a K-pop reference in the thing next time in your story. Somehow tie it to the K-pop industry or into, like, I don't know. We'll give you we'll look through the comments and we'll shout out whoever makes a good one in our next episode, or in a future episode if you're listening to this maybe several years after this is being made. If anybody's
we got like facial hair and everything. We're like, so I don't know.
Dude, if it's several years, we're graduated college. That'd be crazy, man.
That'd be a dark. I hate this. I already hate this.
Feels so old. But yeah, sometimes the most effective word is not the most complicated or big fanciest word. Sometimes the simple word is good enough. That's all you really need. Implication. I think the reason why I specifically put these two together is because I think this is something that a lot of writers starting out get wrong. telling people directly what is going on or what is happening, or you want to directly tell the audience something, they say it straight out the way they want you to know it, right? So that kind of eliminates the fun of trying to figure out the story on your own. Bet Mark is going to bash me for this. And for those who don't know, Mark has got no jams 0613. He's one of our admin, Discord admin and manager. He's going to bash me for this, but
Love him though.
we love him though. In my art of the con, yeah, see, he's going to bash me for this. He's going to bash me for this. But I think it's important because I thought about implication a lot when I was writing it. And I even rewrote my entire story to kind of put breadcrumbs of it. For the big reveal and later on, I know a lot of people, we always say this, but like a lot of people were taken surprised by it. But many of them told me that when they went back and reread the story, they picked up all the things that have been implying that he is going to do this in the future. These are things that don't seem very big, very, very minor, and they miss it the first time they read through. And when it hits them, it's like hitting a wall. It just comes out of nowhere. And then, how did he even lead up to this? But yeah, I gave you clues. I led clues that that implied an open ending. So that way, when the surprise hits, it's, oh my goodness, it actually fits. This makes perfect sense, rather than where did this come from? Although there was a little bit of that, I may have like set up my implication a bit tad bad, but yeah, implication. By having implication, you have your audience, your readers have to work a little bit harder to figure out what it is they want, and I think that's one of the fun parts of reading the story. You know, for anyone who's interested, there is a story that I recently finished, Space Case by Stuart Gibbs. If you're familiar with the Spy School series, he wrote that too. But it's essentially a in space murder mystery story, and there's one character, I will not reveal who, and there's who has a big secret. I won't reveal it because they tell you that the main character goes into detective mode and figures it out as well. But they have left clues throughout the entire story from the perspective of the main character. And so the main character picked up on it. You might not have. I certainly didn't. I didn't really think it was that big, and it all felt justified. But when you look back in a different perspective, it makes perfect sense. So implication is extremely powerful. Just trying to say that right now. I don't know what to do anymore, man.
I was just scared. I was like, okay, what's happening? When you looking at me,
I don't know. Wait. I just felt like we needed to elaborate a little more. I just didn't know what to say though. Yeah, simplicity, implication, very, very powerful if used correctly. And if you're interested, drop a comment below, send us an email, hop onto our Discord server, ask us questions. And then from there we can discuss it. And then we might be able to come up with some very interesting ideas, concepts, and it might make your writing even more powerful.
That is true. We all like some powerful writing, especially one where we kill people.
And justified writing. I think that's important too, because everything, you can't just do like, oh, I'm just going to add this because I want to. You have to lead up to it. You have to, because from a K-pop fan fiction standpoint, I've seen a lot of stories where it's clear as day that someone's going to cheat on someone. It is a way too obvious. You've established that person. You established the person, the bad person as like fair. You can tell that they're bad. They're a bad person from the start. It's established really early on that they're a very bad person, and it's just when that moment comes, it just doesn't hit that hard because you can see it from a mile away. But with something that's more implied, it's more hidden. So when that moment comes, it hits you, and then you're like, "Whoa, okay, I can see that how this led up to this moment." So direct and convoluted versus simple and implied. Very powerful. I know we didn't provide a lot of tips, but this is something that for people to more think about when you're writing your stories.
Mm.
Anywho, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. Anyway, good vibe check, bro.
Well, as I mentioned before, I was going to talk about the whole associate's degree thing from earlier. So I went onto a new degree track. So now I added another major onto my list. So I will be graduating next spring and I believe May with an associate's in both communication and business management.
Mm.
And I've got accepted into my 4-year university.
Nice.
I know. I'm growing so fast. I'm tired of it.
Nice.
What about you, bro? Hit us.
Well, it's not really a good vibe, but I guess like I'm in the back half of my second midterm season. I have a lot of homework and like final projects I have to start working on. I have to make another podcast for my music history course on storytelling and music. I have a 1,000-character Chinese essay due next Tuesday. I have a Calc 3 midterm, so maybe next week or the week after, but I'm not really looking forward to that at all. But yeah, things are starting to ramp down, which allowed me to do this podcast today, but help.
Blink 3 times, I'm on the way.
It's a 7-hour drive from here, from probably from your place to where
I was going to drive.
Teleport. No. Yeah. If you have any good vibe checks, please share them in the comments below, email us, or tell us in the Discord server. We'd love to hear from you guys. We love talking to you guys. We really need to figure out a fan base name, because I just don't like saying you guys, whatever. We need
the coffee cups.
If you have a good idea for any any fan base names or whatever, please put them below. We've heard a lot before. Customers, that's with a K. What else is there? I know there's more.
I won't be able to find it fast enough.
I don't know. Put some suggestions below. So remember, it's the K-Fic Cafe. We love to write. I don't know. Do something with the cafe. Do something with writing. I don't know. Come up with something. Please. In any case, like, comment, subscribe if you're listening to this on YouTube. If you can, donate through our Venmo or through Anchor. I've done this in a long time. Yeah, donate to us through Venmo or from Anchor. Any bit counts. We're doing this out of our own free will and out of our own free time. As you can tell, we're all very, very, very busy people. And the more help, the better. Please. In that case, take it away, Jay.
All right. Bam and bam and bam. Okay, I'm sorry. I had a little excitement. Thank you guys for stopping by. We appreciate you all, for coming by and listening to us through YouTube or Anchor, maybe Spotify. Are we on Spotify?
Yeah, Anchor distributes to Spotify. Anchor distributes to a lot of people.
Thank you for coming by. We appreciate you. We love you guys. You bring us a lot of hope. And yeah, we hope to see you all next week. If not, we'll see you the week after. If not, we'll
see you at the next podcast, and whatever case it is.
We'll see you.
Stay healthy. Stay safe. Wear your masks. Don't try your best not to catch corona. Everybody
drink water. Sleep well. Yeah. Don't be like JT and stay up to like 3 a.m.
Guilty. All right. Yeah.
Thank you guys. It has been wonderful being with you all. These are your hosts, Jay
and JT.
And we will see you all in the next podcast. Yes. Bye-bye.
Signing off. Bye.